And One-on-One continues now here in the office of Colts owner Jim Irsay. And we're going to talk about music for a few minutes because I know it's extremely important to you. I was just looking at Rolling Stone magazine the other day, the 70 top Bob Dylan songs of all time. And I thought about you. What is your favorite Bob Dylan song?
Well, I think probably like a Rolling Stone. I think when that album came out, I know talking to John Mellencamp, I think that's his favorite album, Highway 61 Revisited. Yeah, I mean, Dylan's kind of our American Shakespeare. Right. He's a type of artist where even if you haven't heard of him, if you're a 20-year-old listening to rap music and you really haven't even heard of Bob Dylan, he influences you because the time that he came in the 60s and the cultural changes going on, he was just a very powerful poet and a big-time influence.
We're taking a look around the office here at some of the memorabilia that you have on display, and it is quite extensive. We're looking at some of the footballs here. I think that's one is from the first game at Lucas Oil Stadium right there. Is that right?
Right, that's right.
Yeah. That was, I'm trying to read that date, October 12th in 2008. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it, yeah. What does that mean to you? What is
Well, I think time moves along quickly, you know, and you're sitting here and Peyton's 35 years old, and you look back and see, you know, 13 years and things that have passed and gone on, and all the great success we had. So you don't take that for granted. I think in this league, just to win a game, you know, to win a game is a tough thing. You have 31 other people just competing vigorously against you in a very competitively balanced system, and it's tough. So when you go out and win 115 games in a decade, something no one else has ever done, or win 12 games in a season for 7 years in a row, boy, you really don't take that for granted because you know how hard it is just to win 9 games in this league. So those just remind you, you know, of those good times and influence you to want more. You know, you want to keep winning.
Yeah, John, I want to get John to get a shot of this famous Jack Kerouac scroll that you have here in your office, because this is the original. This is the one that you were very widely quoted as. You were adamant to get this because this is the original thing. This is a bunch of just a scroll all taped together, right? The original.
Right, 119 feet.
Yeah.
And it's really special, I think, again, when you mentioned Dylan and the influence, when you look at the beat writers in the 50s and you look at those guys, Ginsberg and Burroughs and Kerouac and Cassidy, they just had a big influence. The war had ended. The 50s was a great decade to be alive and to be young, and I wasn't born until 59. But there's no doubt that this piece is kind of the central piece of the beats, which kind of connected, you know, the poets and jazz, and really kind of pushed an influence of artistic risk-taking, artistic an aspect in this country that changed things a lot. So it's a symbolic piece. It's a very important part of American literature in this country, and it's been really fun to share it with the world, quite frankly.
And just above that scroll on that same wall, you have framed letters from Presidents Washington, Jefferson, and Lincoln. How'd you come about getting those?
Well, I think that means a lot to me. You know, this country means a lot to me, and we're a young country, and we're kind of like a toddler still in terms of age. The founders of the country, the thing that it's about. You know, my grandparents came to Ellis Island with just the shirts on their back, immigrants from Hungary and Poland, with a dream, and a dream to say, if I come and work hard, I have a chance. If I have a chance to be free, I have a chance to really make something of my life. And you know, those things really you keep inside you, and you honor that, because that's something that's really dear to me. And I think that you know, when I look at you know, just how this country's grown, and just to sit here as a grandchild of someone, with those peasant roots. That means a lot to me. I talk about, tasting the peasant dust in your mouth, because that's something that means a lot to you, because you know how hard it was for them in the 20th century to pass the torch, and so you honor that with your life, no question.
That's well said. You've been called the owner with a poet's soul, and I can see why. You feel very deeply about these things.
Right, no question. I think that, I've always said that in big business, and I've dealt with it with the team and other aspects of companies and real estate and those things. You can have a big heart, and you can do things in a way that are inspiring and selfless. And I talk about a stewardship with the team, and you talk about what's going on with the lockout and trying to get a new agreement. There's a great weight of responsibility that's given to you, and you don't exist in a vacuum. You have many people looking for you to lead, depending on you, to make decisions that are noble, noble decisions that you can say to yourself, that when you looked at this thing, that you acted in a way that you can be proud of, and you don't forget, like I said, your peasant roots, and you understand that aspect of the struggle.
And coming up next, as promised, Jim Irsay, musician, going to play for us right after this.